That's awesome. Caro, I mean, I'm telling the people all the time that Formnext is so much focusing on startups and encouraging startups and focusing and embracing new innovations. But why?
Yeah, because this year we had also very many applications and good applications, and we can honestly say at Formnext startups have a great platform to present themselves and to network. And to say we have launched our startup challenge in 2015, which is like actually the start of Formnext. So yeah, we can say the importance of this challenge has also grown. And yeah, since Formnext is the leading platform for new innovations in additive manufacturing, the Startup Challenge is an important element in the development of this industry. So we want to drive this industry forward because there's so much potential. And together with Arno and AM Ventures, we are also select young companies for the AM Ventures Impact Award, which approaches to sustainability and environmental considerations. And we all know this is also getting a bigger topic now in AM. And we can say that we built the foundations for the startups during Formnext for their success and for their journey.
Absolutely. Arno, I mean, we just had you in the panel for funding these startups. How important is such an event like Pitch Next for a startup in that phase that they are representing here?
It's absolutely invaluable in my opinion, because if you want to play a role in additive manufacturing, you have to be in Frankfurt in November every single year. Formnext is the place to be. And many young startups cannot necessarily afford to have a booth because it's a super professionally organized show and it costs a little bit of money to be here. And therefore, actually, in the year when we started AM Ventures in 2015, we reached out to Formnext and suggested this idea to build a Formnext Startup Challenge and a Startup Corner for everyone to have a space at the show and be exposed to the world of additive manufacturing, to customers, to pilot users, to suppliers, to all different kinds of partners. And this can only happen here.
And to be honest, it is advantageous for you as well, because some of the startups Arno and I met here on stage years ago have now big booths here. So it's quite an advantage for Formnext as well, right from an economic perspective.
Yeah, of course. It's a great development. And we had so many good applications this year. And which was interesting was that we also had some requests from startups who have not been founded yet. So this might be also a good potential in this direction, to go in this direction.
Yeah, to test probably on the stage. Am I able to pitch in front of such an audience? That's a pretty good idea. So Arno, let us know a little bit, give us a glimpse into the discussions you have together with Steffi and the others about who is going to win. How does such a selection process happen? What are the criteria you put in place?
It's actually a quite intense selection process, which luckily has been honed over time because it's now the 8th time that we've had this challenge. So we also evolved the selection process. But first of all, a really, really capable jury, a lot of impressive people from the industry. And it's also not a very small jury, so quite a whole range of people. We tell the applicants to hand in a video and also a little bit of an application form. And there you already find out how serious do they take this competition, how much effort do they put into preparing their pitch and their presentation. So that already tells quite a bit. Ideally, the video summarizes quite nicely what they do, and then in the end, it's an evaluation sheet of what's the business model, what's the addressable market size, how revolutionary is the technology, how good or diverse is the team, for example, and a couple of other criteria. And then you fill in the sheet, which is quite an exercise, actually. I must admit, it's become quite a bit of work in the meantime. But this is our core business. This is why AM Ventures exists. So it's also a lot of fun to evaluate this. And then we have a jury call. Yes. Everyone presents their views and opinions, because sometimes it's really interesting how diverse the assessments also can be.
Leave that.
But usually you come to a really good conclusion and a pretty cool, striking team of winners.
Yeah.
And sorry, I just remember the discussion we had in our panel before, and about the hard time go through an investment round. And pretty much it's basically a first little tests, right? Going through the challenge because you are evaluating exactly the same things in a different probably level or stage, but finally you have to decide, are they really capable of going on with their business or not?
Yes. Every competition, every public appearance is a test and is an opportunity for a startup to evolve and develop new skills. I think this is extremely important, and every founder knows this intrinsically, that you cannot be perfect in the beginning. When I remember now, luckily I can speak quite freely on a stage. My first presentations were horrible. I couldn't speak a clear word because I was so distracted that I have to deliver a perfect presentation, and therefore my presentations were lousy. You have to develop these skills, and every single test on a stage helps you to develop these skills.
I cannot confirm this one, but Caro, another question is, what is the demand for being part of the Startup Challenge? So I can imagine, first of all, it's difficult to communicate because the startups need to know that there is a Startup Challenge, and how many of them are approaching you in order to be part of it?
Yeah, that's a good question. We got many applications and many qualified applications, which is also, like Arno said, not typical, or we try to get the most qualified applications there, and this is the reason why we also requested videos or short videos. We also developed this application process together with our jury because they know what they need for the investment, and so like the videos, this is really important to see how outgoing are they, how can they present their idea and pitch in front of investors. So that's very important to us. So it was a development, and we're still communicating a lot, and I think we are at a good state that the challenge is very implemented in Formnext. I mean, we started since 2015, since the beginning of Formnext, and yeah.
It's very well established. Leads me to my next question to both of you, and you must be honest. Considering the progress of these pitches, I mean, those startups probably have seen other pitches from other startups. So, and I'm part of it for some years now too. So how do you see it? Are the pitches getting better, Arno? Yes or no? Or is it pretty much the same challenges? Because both of us probably remember our first moments on a stage. So as you mentioned, how does the quality change over time?
Yes, I think now, let's say, the new generation of entrepreneurs has a lot of experience from shooting their own videos and publishing whatever they do. So they feel much more comfortable on stage. And because they have a lot of references online, they know how to present and maybe how to condense information. When I think back 10 years ago, 8 years ago, the first 3D printing cluster events in Munich that we had, at some point we decided that we need to have a pitch training before the event for the founders, because sometimes it was really painful to watch the pitches. It really hurt oneself when you saw how the presenters were suffering on stage. So over time we changed that, but also the quality of pitches is generally evolving. So I can confirm that.
Yeah, what I can confirm, by the way, is the story of timekeeping. I remember the first 3D printing clusters at the very beginning when the cooperation with Formnext started. It was so hard to keep them in time. Even if it's 5-7 minutes, they overexceeded all the time. And now 3.5 minutes on spot, you can keep on going. It's super easy.
It is a short time.
So, Caro, I mean, considering the fact that we have 2 startup areas now, so it's been growing all the time. I mean, I remember the first 5 booths, and that now we have like 20, or how many stands do we have? Yeah,
I think it's a very good example that this whole topic grows at Formnext, and that we opened a new and a second startup area this year is also a sign that this whole industry needs the startups and needs their innovative ideas.
Yeah, good. Arno, just more a content-wise aspect. Did the topics change now over time, or is it still the same focus, more or less, of the pitches?
No, luckily the topics are evolving over time as well. You know, in the beginning, I remember I visited trade shows and I visited startup pitches where it was about another FDM printer and filament sales and another digital manufacturing platform. And especially in the last couple of years, we've seen a really, really impressive shift from different technological principles to application focus. People actually doing something with 3D printing that no other technology can do. Filters, antennas, heat exchangers, you name it. And this is extremely important, not only for the founders, but also for the industry itself.
Very good, very good. Same with me here. I see much more applications. It's much more specific than before. It was very generic at the very beginning, or some ideas you can even really grab or understand finally. So it's really well.
Yeah.
So what is the outlook for next year? We then have 3 startup stages.
Yeah, maybe. Let's leave it as a surprise for next year. Yeah.
Very good, very good. Okay. Thank you so much, the two of you, for giving us a little bit glimpse inside the work of the Startup Challenge. Very well organized again, Carol. Big applause for Caroline, because without her, I would be lost for sure. So it was a pleasure to have you finally here on stage. Thank you, Arno, for your great support, not only on the stage, but also for the Startup Challenge. Thank you, both of you. So, ladies and gentlemen, this would be Tuesday at Formnext. First day is over, but let me give you a little outlook on tomorrow's program. We will have amazing expert insights tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a little bit the day of the Nordics, our partner region, so we will discuss the topic of sustainability in a very interesting panel. So you should be part of it. We will start again tomorrow at 10 o'clock. We will have some expert insight at the very beginning, and then later on go over into supply chain as a panel, and cybersecurity, intellectual property, super interesting topic and super important at additive manufacturing. And then, as I said, in the afternoon, we are covering all the topics regarding our partner region Nordics. So stay tuned. Watch again tomorrow, 10 o'clock in the morning. Looking forward to see you there in our live stream. See you and have a great evening tonight. Bye-bye.